Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, police seek assistance to identify body found in East Kingston. The Elletson Road police are seeking the public's assistance to identify the body of a man that was found on the Palisadoes Main Road on Monday, November 18. The body is of dark complexion, slim build, 180 centimeters or 5 feet 11 inches long, and was clad in a multicolored shirt. Reports from the Elletson Road police are that about 6:15 p.m., passers-by stumbled upon the body and alerted them. Upon their arrival, the body was seen lying face down on the roadway. The scene was processed and the body was removed to the morgue. Anyone with information that can assist the police is being asked to contact the Elletson Road Police at 876-928-1261, Crime Stop at the 311, or the nearest police station. Child found wandering in Waterford, St. Catherine, returns home. A young girl, Tishana, who was found wandering on the Waterford Main Road in Portmore, St. Catherine, about 6:40 p.m. on Tuesday, November 19, has returned home. She is said to be in good health. The Waterford police had appealed to the public for assistance in locating the parents of the child. Rifle found in roof of Glen Road, St. Andrew premises. Cops assigned to the St. Andrew South Police Division on Tuesday discovered a rifle in the roof of a premises located along Glen Road during an operation in the area. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. Reports from the Hunts Bay police are that about 5:40 p.m., lawmen were in the area when a premises was searched. During the search, the weapon, a .22 Diana G27 rifle, was seen inside the roof. Investigation continues. 2 more suspects detained in murder of Homewood bus driver. The news has been informed that the police have detained 2 more suspects in connection with the fatal shooting of the bus driver of Homewood Technical High at the Manchester-based institution last week. This was disclosed by Deputy Superintendent Kerry Duncan, head of the Manchester Police. He says that the men were held during a police operation. The police had reported on Friday that a car transporting another group of suspects was intercepted in the neighboring parish of Clarendon. Rohan Gentles, who was the school's bus driver, was killed in view of students on Friday. Mr. Gentles was sitting inside the bus when he was attacked and shot. The police have not yet disclosed the motive for the killing. Policemen charged in East Kingston triple killing remanded. The 2 policemen charged in connection with the controversial killing of 3 males along Windward Road in East Kingston over a week ago were remanded when they appeared in the gun court on Tuesday. A bail hearing for the cops is set for December 17. Corporal Mark Roy and the Constable Kelby White, who are being represented by King's Counsel Peter Champagny, were charged on the weekend following a ruling by the Director of Public Prosecutions. The Independent Commission of Investigations says it is building its case against the policemen based on CCTV footage of the incident. Indicom launched an investigation after questions were raised about the fatal shooting of 17-year-old Oisin Stubbs, 19-year-old Randa Campbell, and 20-year-old Keshawn Smith on the morning of November 10 on Windward Road, East Kingston. The police claimed the 3 young men were killed during a reported confrontation. They also claimed that they seized 2 illegal guns, but the police high command had questions about the shooting and ordered the detention of the 2 policemen last week. They have been charged with 3 counts of murder, using a firearm in the commission of a felony, discharging a firearm in a public place, perverting the course of justice by making a false report and placing an item on the scene of a crime, as well as willfully making a false statement to an investigator, contrary to Section 33 of the Indicom Act. Taxi operator charged with a teacher's murder took his own life in custody. Lascelles Morgan, the taxi operator charged with the murder of educator Daniel Anglin, died 12 days after he attempted to take his life at the Portmore police station. On July 10, the 45-year-old convicted sex offender was charged with murder and kidnapping in relation to the death of Miss Anglin, who was a teacher at the St. Peter Claver Primary and Infant School in St. Andrew. Acting Superintendent Michael Campbell, commanding officer for the St. Catherine South, told the news that Mr. Morgan was found hanging in his cell on November 7, shortly after he had returned from the Clarendon Parish Court.
So he was taken to the Clarendon Parish Court, and after he returned from court, he was placed in the cell rather. And about 20 minutes later, the police officers were alerted by other members of the cell, hanging, using item of clothing. The police officers rendered first aid, and he was taken to the Spanish hospital where he was admitted. So he was admitted in hospital from the 7th until yesterday when we were informed that he succumbed.
Forensic tests confirmed that the skeletal remains found on June 3 in Salt River, Clarendon, were those of Miss Anglin, who disappeared after leaving her Hellshire Park home in St. Catherine on May 13. Morgan had been arrested and charged in 2015 for sexual offenses and was also convicted in Antigua for sexual offenses and deported to Jamaica. Preparations going well for Friday's by-elections. The Electoral Office of Jamaica has confirmed that preparations are far advanced for this Friday's by-elections. By-elections are to be held in the Trelawney Southern and the St. Andrew Northwestern constituencies and the electoral divisions of Morant Bay in St. Thomas and Town, Clarendon. Based on the May voters list, 74,700 electors will be eligible to vote across 271 polling stations. The EOJ is reminding the public that only electors registered to vote in these constituencies and electoral divisions will be allowed to vote in the by-elections. The polls are set to open at 7 a.m. and close at 5 p.m., after which the preliminary counting of ballots will immediately take place at each polling station. Electors are being reminded to take their voter ID card to the polling station. The EOJ is appealing to electors who have not yet collected their voter ID card to visit their EOJ constituency office to do so ahead of the by-elections. Voters are entitled to time off from work for 3 hours to vote in the by-elections on November 22. Those 3 hours are in addition to the usual lunch hour. The law, however, does not apply to persons who start working at 10 a.m. or later or end work at or before 2 p.m. NWC promises remedial work shortly in Moy Hall, St. James. The National Water Commission says it has completed pipe installation work in Moy Hall, Reading, St. James. Residents of the community staged a peaceful protest on Tuesday morning, questioning the delay in rehabilitating the road in their community, which was dug up to facilitate the pipeline project. But speaking with the news on Tuesday afternoon, acting NWC Communication Manager Delano Williams said that the residents will benefit from upgraded pipelines and road repairs in the coming weeks.
As of today, all the pipeline work has been successfully completed, and we have gotten approval to restore the excavated areas with a concrete composite. We are mindful that, with the rainfall, sections of the roadway were scoured, the pipe trenches were exposed, and so we're taking steps to put in a more resilient material. That work was slated to have started at least a week ago, but with the heavy rains, it was delayed, and those rains have continued to impact the community to a large extent. Once the weather permits, our contractor will undertake the remedial work on the road, and this will take approximately 1 to 2 weeks.
Cop who left Ireland after fatal shooting of man in St. James charged. A Jamaica Constabulary Force constable has been charged with murder following a probe by the Independent Commission of Investigations into a 2022 case where a man was shot and killed at a bar in St. James. According to Indicom, the shooting incident took place on May 13 on Jarrett Street in Montego Bay. The man who was shot and killed was identified as the 33-year-old Cutmar Beadle. Indicom in a release said the policeman, Weevil Phillips, was taken into custody after he returned to the island 7 months after a ruling by the DPP. On Monday, November 18, the policeman was placed before the St. James Parish Court, where he was charged with the offenses of murder and making use of a firearm to commit a felony, contrary to Section 25(1) of the Firearms Act 1967. Constable Phillips was taken to court on Monday and was granted bail in the sum of $400,000 with 1 to 3 sureties and reporting conditions. The next court date is scheduled for December 4. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.